Jason, what are you doing? This is the girl you brought home last night?
It's not what you're thinking, Mom.
No. You go on. Look, just join your friends. What y'all do, take the bus up from Jersey? Get on out of here.
I'm in trouble. Get a doctor on the double.
I'm in trouble. Get a doctor on the double.
Stop it. Stop it.
Stop it. Stop it.
Welcome to The Good, the Bad, and the Sequel. This is the movie podcast. We're talking sequels, and we do it in two parts. The first, an interview with an actor or someone involved that made the film worth watching. And the second, a discussion of the sequel, what they got right, what they got wrong, and how it could have been better. I really hope you enjoyed the interview for this movie. Stuart Pankin, man, the guy who plays a legendary vicious boss, as he says, the funny fat guy. So many movies. The guy, man, it was so cool talking to him. You know, the voice of Earl Sinclair on Dinosaurs and so much more. I know this is a little bit different in the last few weeks because we did back-to-back interviews. And you heard the amazing Peter Jason talking about Spielberg, working with John Wayne, and so much more. We did that because they have a movie coming out, put out by Saban Films. It's called Deep in the Forest. It's video on demand May 31st. Kind of a different role for Pankin, man. Stuart never plays that serious role that he gets to play when he does like plays in Broadway. So that was pretty cool. Peter, man, the guy does it all. So his role in that movie, I think like, I don't know, They Live, like the role he plays in that. But yeah, so great stuff. And this is a sequel that, man, it's something, but it really hits that nostalgia. Mannequin 2 on the move. Before I mention anything more, I got to introduce you to my partner in the sequel watching journey, Jamie Riccardi. Jamie, how you doing?
I'm doing awesome, Doug. How are you doing?
Pretty good, man. This movie, I don't know. It just encompasses. I'm not going to sit here and say it's a great movie or what have you, but it captures that essence of the movies that I love.
You know, I wanted to come in here and say I hated the movie, you know, and the first 5 minutes and the storyline of how it, because I saw this a long time ago, haven't seen it in a long time. And I'm like, you know what? Oh, I'm going to hate this movie as it's going through. But as the movie goes on, I'm glad you said that. It is nostalgia. It is totally like, you know, the typical movies that we used to love in the 80s and early 90s. And at the end, you know what? The actors in the movie do such a great job with a terrible script. Like, I think the script is not great, but I mean, Pankin plays his typical role in every movie, and he's just he's such that smart ass, bossy kind of like manager he does all the time. And Kiser crushes it. I mean, I was laughing at Kiser throughout. I mean, I did laugh a few times at him. I mean, the whole mole thing, was ridiculous. So, yeah, you know what? It was enjoyable. It was more enjoyable than I thought it would be.
That's what I mean. It has that, I don't know. I think there's something about these movies because I think it's like this phrase that I think we mentioned so many times. The movie like moved, like while you're watching it, there's not one scene in this movie that I felt like, okay, this is too long. Cause you had like the Meshach Taylor, you know, the Hollywood scenes when he's playing different people. And, no, this movie was fun. And there's a lot of questions I do have. A huge one that really I don't think there's an answer to because they confuse you about Terry Kiser's role.
Well, I mean, I love his accent, but he does sound Italian. There's one point in the movie he does sound like Italian.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
When he's on the stairs and everything else, he came out like Italian. I'm like, I go, where's he from now? Because I got confused. But yes, we'll definitely get into that. And, you know, I just have a question because I haven't seen Mannequin in a long time. Yeah. So this is obviously in the same universe as the first movie.
It's the same mall. It's the same everything. Yeah. Okay. Same department store.
Department store, same. Obviously, Hollywood the same. So are these mannequin or these princesses or whatever? Are they related at all? Are they?
No. Well, one is from Egypt. Somehow Kim Cattrall, who is a white mannequin, was in the Egyptian times.
Okay. All right. And now, how does she turn alive? How does she become alive?
See, that is just she turns alive because true love. So sort of the same thing, not the necklace thing, which.
Yeah, but wait. Okay, but the necklace thing was supposed to be for true love, but they seem to be able to remove it very easily.
Remove it very easily. And then also, how about the fact when the queen, who is William Ragsdale's mom in the movie, Jason's mom, but he's Prince William back then. But it was like so convoluted. It was 1,000 years or when they find their true love. But it's 1,000 years. It says 1,000 years in the future. And in my head, I'm like, so who cares about true love anymore?
Right, correct. But if it was that easy to take off, couldn't she just take it off? Like the prince could have taken it off the whole time, or like, because it comes off easily. And goes back
where
on.
Was she? Like, what did the Prince William do during this time? Did he just throw her in a closet?
Correct.
Or did he lay with her?
And I guess like ancestors all look exactly the same.
Well, we experienced this in Back to the Future 3.
Okay, all right.
Which at least it's not as awkward. Like now, if Prince William, his like girlfriend was his mom, that'd be as weird as Back to the Future 3 was.
That is true. Well, you know, the way they made it look like Kiser's role was almost the same character as the first role. Like I don't know, like how.
So let's talk about it now. No, let's get right into it. So, because we would talk about it throughout the way, but I just want to talk. I have to talk about it. So when he sees, we're skipping ahead a little bit. But we'll square everything up. When he sees the mannequin, right? When he sees her, Kristy Swanson, who's peak, like everybody's crush,
the best.
When he sees her and he goes, "I'm doing this for my great." And then I'm like, all right, so this is the grandson, right? This makes sense. But the way he talks to her later in the movie, he says, "It's me, the count." And I'm like,
correct.
Is it the same guy? Did he freeze himself or something?
Correct. That's it. It just didn't see something seemed off. Like, and not for nothing, he had way too much information about the entire. Like, was it just constantly passed down? I mean, you know, they didn't have writing back then, right? Or they didn't look like, you know, whatever. So, like, it just seemed weird. It just didn't seem to make sense. And so not only was the count in the same area, but the prince happened to be related to, what's his face? Like, the whole movie? Like, so he's related to the prince?
So, like, what's his name? The main character?
Jason.
Okay. So, is he a prince? Like, isn't he royalty then at this point? Because he looks exactly like the prince does.
Exactly. 1,000
And they don't
years
address
later.
that. They don't address that at all.
No, or the mom. The mom is his mom. The queen is his mom. So that's always made no sense. Jason, and 1,000 years ago, where the names Jason and Jesse, like before we were just talking about, I was talking about like naming, you know, finding a name for our son that's due in July. It's hard to pick names, but I don't think William probably, but Jesse 1,000 years ago?
Jesse James?
Maybe. All right, there goes that theory.
Yeah, because Jesse James wasn't a big name in historical figures.
He was popular, but you wouldn't name it. And you'd be like, honey, you know what? Let me name after this bank robbery murderer.
Well, that was before the Old West anyway.
It was, yeah. So this is probably like
all right. So there you go. Okay, so Jesse.
Oh wait, no, what
Jesse
was
was more.
No, it's 1,000 years. So this is 990 is the year.
All right, so Jesse wasn't. There you go. You're back to your theory.
yeah. I don't think Jesse was a name back then.
But yeah, you know what? It was just when I first saw the first scene. That's when I was like, oh, I don't remember this, but like, it almost looked like a play, like the town was putting on a play at the local playhouse, and that's what the first scene looked like. It was just very, very corny, but like I said, as the movie goes on, I'm like, you know what, it's enjoyable.
Yeah,
so,
that's what I was thinking too. Because I think the one part about the first part that I loved was Terry Kiser, like his character, because it seemed like he wanted to marry her, and it seemed like the queen wanted him to marry her. So that's what made no sense because I don't know. He puts the necklace on her.
He does. Okay. So he cursed that necklace, correct?
Yes.
For her. Okay. So why would it turn anyone else into a mannequin? after 1,000 years. Like, if it's 1,000 years or falling in love, wouldn't the curse end?
That's what I mean. Yes, it would end, and she should just
Right.
wake up.
Correct. Or does it reset with the next person? So, like, after someone else put it on, now it's all right. We got to wait another 1,000 years.
Yeah, Meshach Taylor, Hollywood is stuck for 1,000 years. No, you're right. No, it should. That's what it was so weird about that weird caveat when she's like 1,000 years or true love, and I'm just like, wait, they are in love. So wouldn't that just right away stop? Because he loves her, she loves him. So as soon as the necklace goes on, wouldn't that break the spell?
Yeah, but was it real love? I mean, he only's known her for a day.
Oh.
Okay. So there's my other question. Does this all take place in 2 days?
Oh, the movie?
Yeah.
Oh, once she comes to, once we get into present day, yeah.
Once we get, well, obviously 1,000 years is more than just 2 days.
That is, yeah.
Okay. So, but once she gets to, is it New York or
Philadelphia?
They made it look like, okay, Philadelphia. It is, the entire movie takes place in 2 days.
Pretty much, yeah, because he starts the job in the morning. She sleeps over that night. Yeah, and then the next day. Yeah.
And the next day, okay.
Look at that.
It seems like a lot going on in 2 days.
Yeah.
And is it a department store or is it a mall?
It's a department store.
Do department stores normally put on a massive production like that?
I don't understand that. I like how can they there must have been other ideas. The fact that they landed on like a
Broadway show? Like,
yeah.
I mean, like literally, like, I mean, the backdrop and like everything, like it was like a Broadway stage.
Yeah.
And they're going to spend money on this artifact, which is I mean, you got how much you think that mannequin was? It was probably super expensive.
Well, according to, if you remember what the count said, he said, we're doing this so we can get more tourism because last year we made $52. And after this, we hope to make 3 figures.
That's right. I forgot about that. All right.
Oh my God. But I did like the swordsman scene was pretty funny when how about the one guy which is weird that he wasn't somebody later in the movie, the guy that had like the horns on his helmet, and he's like, come on, let's go, Prince William. And he slashes both of them. And then he actually stabs the guy in the foot.
Now that was a Viking helmet, right?
Yeah.
So why is he wearing a Viking helmet?
In a German like country.
German country, a Viking helmet.
Perfect English.
Perfect English, and the helmet and the horns are made of rubber.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Terry Kiser's name is Spreadsel.
Which no one could pronounce the entire movie, right?
Yeah.
Pretty much.
But isn't that funny? He's the only one with an accent, and they're all in that country, because obviously the Queen has been there a while. William was born there. Perfect English.
Well, so where'd the 3 bodybuilders come from?
You mean the German Three Stooges?
Yeah, because the German Three Stooges, again, as corny as they were, I laughed a few times.
Oh, dude, yes, they were funny.
They were funny. Like again, the storyline is so stupid. Like, I mean, like the Count is an idiot. Like, really, like it's like he almost reminded me of Snidely Whiplash. I think.
Yes,
like the cartoon,
well,
right?
Snidely is
no, he's a dog. He's a dog.
Yeah. Duke Dastardly, right?
Yeah, Dastardly, right? So, like, he reminded me of like the old school cartoons, a Hanna-Barbera cartoon villain that would tie the the princess to the railroad tracks before That's the character he was playing.
And he crushed it.
He nailed it. He really did.
God,
he really did.
He's so great and so much, man. I would love to talk to him one day, just because I don't know. I just think the guy he plays every role. He chews up the scenery. Like he gives 150%. And I can even see like in this movie, they're like, okay, guys, we're not going to do any accents, and he's like, sure. And then action, and they're like, what the fuck's he doing?
His accent is so over the top. It's so funny because it is so over the top, and I bet I wonder, it'd be great if that whole mole thing wasn't part of his costume. He just put it on before they started shooting.
I would love
so
that.
because if that was the case, I mean, like, because obviously that was a running joke like throughout the whole movie. But when he first arrives with it, I'm like I wasn't sure if they were gonna address it. I just thought it was part of his costume. But the fact that they were really addressing it was amazing.
Yeah. So then we get Philadelphia a few days later after we talked about when you saw the count say great grandfather. And so it's Philadelphia a few days later. William Ragsdale, Fright Night 2. God, I love that guy. I think he is so great in this movie because it's funny. His mom runs a video dating service, which is, dude, entirely creepy because it's not as creepy. It's dating now. Just it's nowadays on like an app. It's more convenient. But she hands Pankin that book later in the movie and goes, "Oh, here," and he's looking through the girls' profiles. Well,
is it less creepy than the fact that he's living with his mom, who's still making him sandwiches? Who Ragsdale looks like he's in his 20s in this movie. Like he's out of high school. I was
thinking he was just out of college because his job was
right.
He was a junior associate, like an entry-level kind of guy.
That's what I mean. So he's out of college, and his mom's running into the street to give him his bagged lunch.
I'll do that when my daughter's 22 and she's going to work.
I felt like, and unfortunately, sometimes you see this, when like the spouse passes away and it's only the mom and the son, and like she's alone, so she babies the kid a little bit. I don't know. He just seemed like it seemed like a mama's boy.
He was
like she could not let him go, kind of thing.
Yeah,
that's what it was.
No,
his character.
It was very Munchie Strikes Back
yes.
X when we saw the photo later in the movie. And he's like, "Yeah, that's my dad. He died a few days after that photo." I'm like, "Fuck."
But his character was very calm, cool, and collected. Like Andrew McCarthy in the first one plays a typical Andrew McCarthy. Like he's all over the place. But here he's wise to the Pankin the entire movie, even though Pankin, like, everybody's afraid of him. He's like not afraid of the cop. Like he literally like is just calm about the entire thing.
Except which is great because when you see, I think the way Kristy Swanson plays Jessie is great because I wish at some points that she was more like shocked by things because she woke up 1,000 years later. But I did like the first time she woke up and Jason was like really freaked out. He grabbed the mannequin arm and he's like, "Stay back." Yeah.
Okay. I'm glad you said that because there's way too many things in this movie that she's completely okay with, not shocked by, and knows how to do.
Yes.
So, and we'll get there. So, okay.
Yeah. So then we get like a great opening track. I wish I looked at the soundtrack more, but a lot of the songs in this movie are really good. And I just don't know if it's big time artists. Like the first one was like, "You better wake up." And he's like, but it wasn't like, I just sang it like it was Grease. I just sang it like, "You better wake up." Cause no, not that. Not that.
They don't. First of all, they don't say you better wake up. You better shake up.
Oh,
or no, you
shape up.
Better shape up. Okay, so we're both wrong. But
we just lost all of our Grease fans. They just greased their.
I was hoping for a bigger song. Like, that a bigger 80s song, obviously the first one had,
they finished with Starship, which is cool.
But that's the movie. That's a song in the first movie.
Yeah.
So they kind of took it from the first movie. So I was hoping there was like, every movie in the 80s had that one song. I mean, they had plenty of montages, so they could have done something. But there wasn't any like big songs.
No, you're right. I do love when he shows up at work, and man, what a great idea. Like I've never seen. There's so many movies about like scammy kind of people, even like the one with Giovanni Ribisi that was on Amazon Prime. I never seen somebody do this, but it's so clever when he parks his car and he has the sign for his mom's business and it fully covers the fire hydrant.
And the old lady's like shaming him. But like he's going to like, I don't understand. So he got this new job, but he doesn't even know what the job is because he seems to go there. He doesn't know who the boss is because he clearly like is looking for him. And then, his job is to help with the production of the show of the play.
Well, the only reason he did that because the other guy like shattered a mannequin that somehow I don't know how the mannequin got that far. Was that mannequin alive? Because they were like in the middle of the store.
And are mannequins like plastic like that? like literally when that mannequin fell, the face. It was like a hollow plastic. I don't think mannequins are like that.
They're pretty solid.
They're very solid. So I think that was
Maybe that's why he got fired.
It's very possible.
He made the mannequin the wrong way. And then the only other safe character besides Hollywood is the security guard, Andy Ackerman. And it's so funny. I wonder if that's an homage to like the big time TV director, Andy Ackerman. I don't know if he had anything to do with this movie. I didn't even look that up. But he was like a big time Seinfeld. He worked on a ton of Seinfeld episodes.
No. And he was. I feel like I saw something recently with him, and I couldn't think of what it was.
Andy Ackerman directing?
Yeah.
Oh
no, the security guard.
Oh yeah, I don't know.
Who do you recognize him or?
Yeah, I couldn't tell you anything else he was in, but he has that familiar face. But no, he's great in the first one because Carol Davis, future guest, in the end of the first one, she like falls because she goes insane. You haven't seen the first one in a while. You got to watch it.
It's a long time. Yeah.
After
seeing this one, I should.
Yeah, she goes crazy because Andrew McCarthy. Really, in reality, he goes crazy like he does in Weekend at Bernie's, and he's in love with the mannequin. And Carol Davis, who's his girlfriend, is like pissed. So she tries to kill the mannequin by throwing it into this mannequin shredder that is at the place. And then she falls off the conveyor belt, and the guy sees McCarthy make out with Kim Cattrall. So he goes, "Oh, I can do this." And he reaches down and he pulls out Carol Davis and kisses her.
All right. But is there such a thing as a mannequin shredder?
I don't think so. No.
Like what would be the purpose? What would be the purpose of that?
How many times did you use that? That machine probably costs how many dollars? And I don't think you get your money's worth ever.
Well, you have a mannequin. What's the purpose of really getting rid of it?
No, I guess not. Yeah, I hope they're not getting damaged.
Like you're just getting. Well, I mean, I'm sure there might be some guys out there that like mannequins.
Oh, maybe.
So doesn't the first movie have? Wait, the first movie have what's his name? This is that big actor that he was on The Office. He was in the Avengers.
Oh, James Spader.
James Spader, right? He's in that one, right?
I love that you think of The Office season 9.
I just thing. Well, I could have said any of the '80s movies where he plays like the rich kid, So okay, yeah, no, and
he plays that role in this movie too.
In the first one.
In the first one, yeah, and the security guard is I should know his name, Lance Kinsey's buddy in the Police Academy movies.
Oh, Harris.
Yeah. Harris plays the security guard in the movie. He's great.
All right, I gotta see it. All right.
Yeah, you gotta watch it.
All right.
And so Pankin, the first time
Pankin made me laugh in this scene when he says, "I smell dust."
Yes, and it's not even that much, and he's like shoving it in the girl's face, like showing her.
That's a typical scene. Again, he's not a one-dimensional actor, but when he plays this type of role, and he's done it so many times, it's like he's like that guy you want to hate the whole movie because he hates the main character in every movie, right? He's always that guy, and just like he plays this role such a jerky boss so well, and I was laughing right away. He was great.
Jerky boss with like two cronies that are taking notes the whole time, which I love. And how about the fact that Hollywood, Meshach Taylor, is doing a presentation that he doesn't want Mr. James Pankin to know about. So wouldn't he get like canned if he lied to him the whole time? Because as soon as Pankin comes in, he changes, the music changes and it turns into like classical.
Well, I mean, what was his job in the first movie? Was he like designing clothes for the?
No, he was doing the displays. He was doing the displays. No, he was doing the window displays in the first one.
Okay, so he went from doing window displays to doing Broadway productions at the department store.
Choreographer, yeah.
Okay. Well, he was designing the whole thing, but okay, all right. It just that whole thing does not make sense. It's a mall. Like I don't understand.
Yeah. I don't know if they should have been able to think of another way to get the mannequin there. That wasn't the first movie. That was just happenstance. Like it randomly showed up at that place in the first.
But even that, like, it just sounds stupid. Like it's all about a mannequin they're bringing to a department store, and what is he? The owner of the mall? Like he walks around. Like why? I don't think the owner would spend that much time at the mall as he does. Right. So he's just
like he's probably like the GM. Yeah, like the manager.
So he's probably like the power trip manager who thinks he's like the owner of the store.
Definitely on a power trip. And speaking of power trips and people are very aggressive, how about the perfume girl? How long has she knew Jason for like 7 seconds and she was like she was very aggressive.
Extremely aggressive and
like uncomfortable. Like I would talk to HR aggressive
that like she's openly aggressive. Like it's not even like talking to him like in front of other people aggressive. Well, I got news to you. I think the security guard is just as aggressive. So
he's very creepy. Yeah, dude, he's so creepy with her too. They're perfect for
both
each
of them.
other.
So 100%. So yeah, but you know what? She's also spraying like all that sexy perfume all day long. So maybe it just goes into her system and she just can't help it.
Wait, you're saying sexy perfume turns you? There's something. Are you breaking news right now? That there's something in perfume that changes that you're gonna have a different.
Well,
demeanor?
Why do they call it sexy? Why do they call it sexy perfume?
I don't know who calls it that.
They don't call it that.
Is that a category?
So we have
some perfume, and they're like perfume. We have different kinds.
Which kind? Which kind? We have sporty perfume. We have sexy perfume.
Sporty and sexy. The only two. That's it. Sporty and sexy.
All right, so you don't have that many options. So now you got to go with sexy. Well, isn't that like Love Potion #9? Isn't that like a 80s comedy? Love Potion #9 with Sandra Bullock.
Yes, and Carol Davis, a future guest, did the track at the end of the movie. Yes.
Okay, so and now it's perfume.
Was that love perfume or was that sexy perfume?
It was sexy. Well, no, there's no love. It's either sports or sexy.
Only sports or sexy. They give you like a questionnaire. They ask you like 10 questions. They're like, does your wife work out? Sometimes. Okay, the more sexy. But she loves watching football. That's sporty. I don't know. Here's a half and half. We give you half and half. Oh my God. So then we get the German Stooges, which I don't even know how they get in this movie. Like them driving they're driving this truck. Okay. How does the truck end up?
Well, first of all, okay. So that whole scene seems like there's a lot of dangerous things going on without the care of human life, because they're literally pulling that truck down while they're still in it. Like they didn't waste any time. And, so, and, the Count is so anal about this mannequin. Did he not do a screening process for these Three Stooges?
That is true. He should have done some background check, or maybe he knows them, but I would get somebody that, if this is so important to you, what is the importance?
Extremely.
Really? What's the importance? That he's going to marry her? That's I don't get.
Okay, so listen, well, I mean, not for nothing, look at what he looks like. So, I mean, if this is his only chance to find a woman, you know what? I mean, you got to take what you can get. This guy has a mole that has a hair that goes down to his chin.
He has a mole that's so big, it has a mole. Mole on
It really
mole.
does. I don't think I've like, okay, if that was the case, and clearly he has it, wouldn't you just pull that hair out at that point? I mean, it's like, you might have like I'm sorry if anyone has a mole out there that has a hair on it, and maybe if they're small, they're hard to pull out, but this thing is like a whisker. Like it's like a cat's whisker. It's probably the length of a cat's whisker. You wouldn't pull it out. Like, why would you leave it there? And I think there's a point where he's actually twirling it. Does he twirl it?
Yeah. No, he twirls it the one time after they're looking at it. Like almost like daring them.
I think, you know what? He was totally egging them on because he noticed they were staring at it and they couldn't stop. So he was like almost like daring them. Go ahead, say something.
Yeah.
But I love when they do that in movies because I think they did it in Harry Crumb too, right? They did it in that. They did it in Austin Powers. Moly Moly. But I think they did it in Harry Crumb.
I think so. That sounds
right. Oh, no, Uncle Buck. No, Uncle Buck.
Uncle Buck. Yeah. Here's a nickel. Have a rat and all that thing off. Yeah.
So it is funny because, I mean, you know that unfortunately people do that. You see something that, and that is definitely out of the ordinary. So
No,
again, I
definitely
don't
out
know.
of the ordinary.
I would think I think he would pull it out. That's all.
Or get it removed. He's a count. He has a queen that he's married to. He should have some money.
Okay, so if he's related to the sorcerer, because he clearly looks exactly like him.
I think he's the same guy.
Okay, so if he is, does he not have any powers anymore? Magic?
Exactly.
I mean, if his powers are strong enough to have a necklace that lasts 1,000 years and turns someone into a mannequin, you're gonna tell me he has no other powers that could have done something?
Yeah, couldn't he have gone to a store and got like the freeze stuff that you like freeze it and break it off?
Something but nothing. That's why if it's not him, then maybe the magic doesn't carry down. But it is the same guy. So
I'll die on that hill because he says a line to her later in the movie. Yeah. He says, "We meet again," and I'm like,
"Yeah,
okay." You wouldn't say that. Like we talk about this in so many movies. When it's generation upon generation, this is 1,000 years. After the game of telephone, you get to the 7th one, the guy's talking about oh yeah, and then I took on the whole army. No, this story cannot stay the same. There's no way. So it has to be the same guy. He had to freeze himself in the same way.
And somehow the museum, or it's not even, is it a museum? It's just the same castle that
it's the same castle that they turned into a museum. Yeah.
But is that the castle that the Count lives in?
It looked like it, right? Later in the movie when they showed it?
So the house he lives in is also a museum that has an American woman taking tours, giving tours, and that has such knowledge on everything that goes on in there. Even later on, somehow all the information is already in that display.
You know what's funny? I forgot about that. The girl giving the tours was American too. So where is this country?
And where is she getting all the information about the exhibit later on in the movie?
Yeah.
As if it's been there forever.
Exactly.
Because clearly it was only 2 days.
Yeah, it was. Oh man. So then you have Hollywood in his pink Cadillac driving with Jason. They go and they're because Pankin goes, Mr. James says, "Go get the mannequin. It's on its way." Oh no! Didn't they get a phone call that was hanging off the bridge? Right?
They got a phone. No. Well, yeah. I don't know if they got a phone call that was hanging off the bridge. She got a phone call the truck is in trouble or something. Because the minute, and I did laugh at this, as soon as Hollywood saw the truck, he did a scream.
Yeah.
That I was laughing because it was such a loud screechy scream, and he did a donut with his car to get over there. So it was pretty funny because he quickly got over there. And then that's when, like I said, they were so careless because there were people. The Three Stooges were still in the truck, and the cops were knocking the truck down.
Yeah,
it made no sense.
And what also made no sense, they know that there's a mannequin in there, so when the door opens up and it falls in, Jason thinks immediately, this is a real girl.
Okay. The bridge wasn't that high that he couldn't see that it's not a real girl. And the fact that the mannequin basically fell like a statue, which did not move one bit, no scream, no arms flailing, and he thought that was a real person. Okay. And why'd the mannequin come alive in the water if you're still wearing the necklace?
See, it makes no sense. It is it's like a combination in times of the 1,000 years that it just is off, and that when he's close by, because when he takes the necklace off, she stays as herself, and everybody can see her. She interacts with everyone, but when he sees her in the water and saves her, she looks at him for a second, and in the car when he's holding her, which is kind of weird, just put it in the back and he gets in the front. She wakes up for a second too. So what are the rules?
They don't explain that at all, unless because the necklace got wet, it was malfunctioning.
Oh, the sorcerer, but an electric. Getting. He goes,
listen, do not get it wet. You can do anything you want to it, but do not get it wet.
Yeah.
Okay. Because 1,000 years, it's impossible.
Yeah. Speaking of getting wet, how about the garbage truck women?
Was that the woman who was in a League of Their Own who had the ugly woman that had her hat down with John Lovitz?
Marla Hooch?
The one on the left.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
like,
I don't know if that was I don't know. I
That
didn't
looked
really
like her a
look at
little
it too
bit.
much.
All
But
right,
the
but yeah.
lady driving, it looked like a poor man's Shelley Long. She was chewing her gum. So weird. And this is what's weird. They're like, yeah, these guys, let's pick them up. Let them go in the front, and then they throw them in the back of the truck where they most likely would die.
With no care at all. Like literally lifted him up and no care at all. And I honestly, I don't think I've ever seen a garbage lady.
Like I've never seen a garbage lady.
As I'm saying, like I've never seen a garbage lady, and I wonder why. Because I mean, I know they do well, garbage men. I mean, but I never seen a garbage lady. And here you got two driving the garbage truck, so they were ahead of their time.
How about the way the guys get picked up? They're like dancing and flexing.
Well, what picked up? They took their clothes off to attract the cars,
and it worked. Maybe the wrong people because then they smell like garbage.
I mean, literally, like, okay, so the ladies picked them up and threw them into the garbage compactor, right? Which basically crushes everything, right? So, but how'd they know where they were going?
Oh, I don't exactly. Like, how do they know that the garbage truck?
Because she literally delivered them to the exact same spot they needed to go.
Yeah.
Okay.
And what happens as soon as their stinky asses walk into the department store? The perfume lady wants to bone all of them.
She's still hanging around the sexy perfume, and
she sprayed them.
See, okay, and listen, the one guy was excited. The one guy seemed into it. Yeah, but then okay, so their wardrobe, the rest of the movie. Where are they getting all those clothes?
I don't know.
Because first of all, they wear the same outfit like for 2 days straight.
Yeah.
And then they got these gym outfits. I was just curious where their wardrobe was from.
They look like they're wrestlers from the early 90s, like WWF wrestlers.
And you could easily say, all right, it was a department store, but it would look like a fancy department store. There's no way they carried any of that clothes.
Yeah, no.
So, yeah. So,
oh, no, they dress like American gladiators. Dude, when you see them in the one scene, they dress like American gladiators.
Okay, where they get the clothes? And those are big guys. Like, there's no way they're finding clothes there that fit. So, I was just curious where they got their clothes from.
That's like a special order that would take as longer than this movie is.
Well, it's like ghoulies finding their clothes at a college where they find so
perfect size. Yeah,
perfect size.
It falls right on them. All right, perfect. So here is when he's working on her when he has this job as the mannequin, and here it is.
This is so weird.
I command you to come to life.
Bizarre. Like it's a good looking mannequin, but I'm not going to be making out with it.
No, it's a mannequin. Like,
dude.
Ugh. Okay. Now, okay. So
I must be crazy.
Yeah, you are crazy.
There is definitely something wrong with me. 2.5 billion women in the world, and I'm trying to score with a statue.
But man, that's a peak.
Yeah.
Gesundheit.
Dankeschön.
You're welcome. Whoa! Whoa!
See, that's
My prince.
he's so good at that.
Why are you running?
Solid.
Why am I running? Why are you moving? Why? God!
Okay,
like, that's so great.
But do you think people actually do that are like around mannequins all day long? Like, do you think, like, what was it? Kiser later on almost wanted to touch the mannequin's chest. Like, he was looking at the mannequin's chest before. Like, do you think there are people out there that work with mannequins all day long? They're like, I guess it's like being in prison. That's why some guys sometimes go for the other team because they're there for so long. Like, do you think, like, if you're in a store, mannequins all day long and like that's at a certain point they start looking good?
Well, if you work at McDonald's and you work the fry line, you're gonna taste the fry every now and then.
Wait, you're comparing kissing a mannequin to eating a fry?
Well, it's against the rules, so you don't want to break the rules. But no, dude, people are in some weird shit.
Wait a second.
I would say that's yeah.
Wait a second. So you're saying not that it forget the. So you're saying it's just a store rule, not like a disturbing like life taboo. It's more of like you're breaking the rule of the store. If it wasn't in the store, then it'd be okay.
Yeah, if it wasn't, if you're doing that here at home, it's fine.
Do you think
Pankin only cares if you're breaking a mannequin?
Okay, so let me ask you. So you know how they always say like George Washington's wooden teeth, like the first dentures were wooden.
Yeah.
Do you think the first blow up doll was like a mannequin?
Oh yeah, no, it's probably like a bale of hay with a hole in it.
Wait a second. You're saying you think a bale of hay is what got people turned on back in the day?
I don't know if it get you. I don't think a blow up doll gets you turned on, but I guess it gets.
No, but I mean, it's better than a bale of hay. Like it looks nothing like a human.
Have you ever been with a bale of hay? Well, I wouldn't be talking then.
Have you?
No, hay's for horses.
Have you ever tried hay? I actually put a piece of hay in my mouth.
Really?
And I was just curious, like how horses just could eat it. I don't know. They eat it like it's the best steak in the world. It is the worst tasting thing. It's so dry and hard. I don't know how they eat it.
Well, I think you ever see like when a horse is just slobbering everywhere and they have like so much liquid. So maybe it like wettens it and makes it like noodles. I don't know.
So you're saying like if you slobber a lot, someone that's constantly spitting when they're talking, they should just eat hay.
Eat hay. It's probably good for you. Look at a horse. You ever see a fat horse?
You see, Matt, they poop every time they're and they poop while they're walking.
It's insane that they poop that much from grass and hay.
From hay, but the fact that they poop as they're walking, can you imagine that? Like if humans could do that, how much easier life would be?
How much easier?
I mean, you're going on a long hike. You know, I mean, who needs toilet paper? You just poop when you're walking.
Squatter, just shoot it right out. I'd rather poop like a horse than poop like a deer. Like when it's like a machine gun when a deer poops.
You seen a deer poop?
Well, I see it in my backyard. It's like so many little pebbles. It looks like Raisinets. It looks like somebody dumped a box of Raisinets.
I've seen that. I don't think it comes out like a machine gun.
Yeah, it does.
Okay, that's something I never do. All right. Anyway, I think there are people that, as weird as it is, like the new guy coming in to working for the Mannequin, the new guy is going to probably try to cop a feel, and maybe make a joke out of it, like, hey, but he probably's like, wow, that feels pretty good.
Yeah. Or maybe the new guy doesn't even think about it, and then they just put it in they put that bug in his ear. They're like, hey, it's something we have to say. It's one of those things we have to say. We know you're not going to do it, but just don't kiss the mannequins. And then the guy's like, wheels are turning. I didn't even think about kissing the mannequin. Oh. Maybe I should kiss the mannequin.
Oh, that is so weird. That is weird.
It was super bizarre, but I did like when I think she might have said in the clip when she said, I saw you when we were in that fast wagon. So there are so many cool lines that she does say that fit somebody who will wake up in 1,000 years. But I think she should still be pretty shocked because she is near chain link fences, which warn around. She's in this weird room with all these other mannequins.
All these objects that clearly, absolutely. Just the room itself should have been overwhelming for her. Because everything had to be alien to her. So but like I said, the rest of the movie, she's doing things that as if she's been doing it her whole life. So she doesn't seem shocked at all with most things.
Well, it's crazy how great the sorcerer's spell was because she thinks it's later that day. We were together this morning. And he's like, you've been asleep for 1,000 years.
Considering he's wearing bizarre clothes to her, because clearly not what the prince was wearing, and the room looks nothing like she was, how can she think it's later in the day?
I know.
So, okay. And now she's sleeping for 1,000 years. Don't you think her breath would be horrendous? I mean, it's it's not like, it's like, I mean, like, listen, a couple hours, if you don't brush your teeth, everybody's breath smells, if you don't take a mint or something. This is 1,000 years. And he's like, she's talking and he's up close and like nothing.
But does her mouth, like, it's weird. Like, she's like this statue.
Yeah,
so
but
is there anything?
Her mouth has got to be dry.
Yeah,
I mean, she's a statue.
She's like, water. I need some water. But she is hungry because her stomach growls.
That is true.
How about those German guys? How dumb they are. They have to like guard this thing. Like that's their job. And all Jason has to say is, oh yeah, we locked this up at night. It's safe. And they're like, okay, bye.
That's what I mean. What kind of screening process did the count go through? Because I mean, they really are the dumbest guys.
Well, he only made $52 off tourism, so maybe he couldn't afford the background check. That's what it has to be. Like,
that is true. I mean, listen, if he can't make, well, you don't know how much money it costs in his little village. You don't know how much. $52 could be a lot.
It could go a long way, but I don't know about background checks. I don't know if that's
okay.
City does background checks.
So if he only made the size of the castle that he lives in is massive.
Yeah.
How is he paying for like the electricity in that thing?
Is there electricity in it? It looks like there was I think it's all candles.
You think they're walking around? Okay, the woman who's giving the tours is not walking around with a torch. This is not Frankenstein. It's
somebody's paying for it.
Someone is paying for it. All right.
Or magic. Maybe the sorcerer. If he can make a necklace that makes somebody freeze for 1,000 years, I think he can pay the electric bill, but by just like snapping his fingers.
Yeah, but he doesn't show any magic the entire movie, which clearly would have helped him multiple times.
I would have hoped for that, some kind of magic, because that was weird that he was able to develop this thing, because it is the same freaking guy. I'm going to say it again, because later in the movie he says, it's so nice to see you. I'm like,
I know.
Yeah.
So, yeah. All right. And again, so he kisses her. And then again, this is my biggest problem with the movie, is he easily takes that necklace off. So even if it was a true love, and even if it was, maybe the 1,000 years is coming up, maybe it's not exactly 1,000 years yet, he takes that necklace off with ease. So if he never puts it back on her, how is the curse broken?
Exactly.
And why, I understand they were trying to find a way to have her come and go, but without the curse, it should have been just like as long as the necklace is on, you're gonna be frozen, and anytime it comes off, then you're unfrozen. That would have been the better way. I don't know. Just the fact that he took it off that easy for something that's cursed just does not make sense.
Yeah, because you had to think in the museum, I'm sure they have people like clean things. Think somebody could have been washing it, cleaning it, and hitting it, and it falls off, and then she wakes up.
How about the fact that it's been around for 1,000 years? No one tried to steal it.
Yeah,
I mean, you're talking about this necklace that seems to have like a light that comes off it every once in a while. So obviously it stands out. It's on a mannequin. No one in 1,000 years tried to take it off her.
You're right. It does shimmer.
It does. So
then we get Jessie. She's hungry because her stomach growls, and she can really go for boiled weasel. And her line when she's in the car in the Jeep and he's driving around, and she says the line "Oh, so the people can walk when the little man is crossing." And then the line she says, "I love cars. I love electricity. I love America."
Okay. How does so you're telling me from the back of the warehouse, wherever they were, the department store, to driving the car, he mentioned the word electricity and America.
He broke it all down.
Somehow in their conversation, electricity in America, this girl just woke up as a mannequin, and one of his conversations had to do with America and electricity.
Yeah, not the fact that you've been frozen for 1,000 years and she should be in shock saying everyone I know is dead.
Well, he also doesn't seem to be that shocked either. He was shocked at first, and then he just goes along with it. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Maybe that is the shock, that it's he's so shocked that he's he doesn't know how to process it, because later in the movie when he when he's like, oh my God, I went crazy. Like there's one point in the movie, he believed that everything he thought happened didn't happen.
Well, maybe when he dove in the water, he got a concussion.
Or he died.
And now the rest is
he died
and
then.
Or
he
died, and the rest is in his head.
Yeah.
See? But so this might be a reason why this guy is single, because clearly all the girls love him the minute they see him. But he's talking about electricity in America.
Yeah.
As within the first half hour of meeting a woman.
Yeah.
That's part of the problem.
He takes her for a cheesesteak. She's eating the paper. And she says, this paper's good. And then right from there, again, he's known her for not long. Maybe they edited out a scene that he educated her on electricity and America. But he goes, oh, well, if you need a place to stay, you could stay with me. And then he goes, well, you probably need a green card. Okay. He's going a little fast. How would she fill out paperwork? I've been gone for 1,000 years. Here's my information. And then he goes, what kind of job did you do back then?
Wait, fill out paperwork? Did he even have like letters back then?
No.
Like,
oh, well, they had letters.
Yeah, they had their own language though. They didn't have English.
And she speaks perfect English. She's from a German.
She spoke perfect English back then too.
No, I know that.
So, but yeah, I mean, like it's just so stupid. Like, I mean, like I guess, like, listen, if you're gonna believe that a mannequin can actually turn into a woman, I guess the fact that she knows about electricity really doesn't make a difference.
Yeah.
So
maybe she was able to hear the whole time, like for 1,000 years. She was able to soak it all in.
You know what? Okay, now you got something. So she was alive inside the mannequin, but like a coma state, but she couldn't just say anything. But she learned.
She didn't age. Only her ears aged.
Then you know what? She'd be the smartest person alive because she went through 1,000 years of dialogue. And
I
you're gonna tell me
listen to the count all that time. That guy's probably saying some dumb
that is
stuff.
True. But okay, and it is only a mannequin because clearly the mannequin, even when you're wearing a necklace, can break, which we see later on.
Yeah,
1,000 years, it doesn't crumble, doesn't crack.
No.
It looks perfectly new.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which makes no sense. The fact that the necklace turns her into something that is
I know but again, I unless like the magic power makes it stronger, but at the end it crumbles. Yeah. So, it doesn't make sense that crumbles in a matter of 5 minutes, but this one lasts 1,000 years.
Or it crumbles because that's exactly 1,000 years. Because it was 1,000 years or true love. So maybe that was a 1,000-year timer that went off and it broke for good. Yeah,
but it broke the person too. Like if it was 1,000 years or not, then once 1,000 years is over, you would think like the person would come out of the mannequin would break off like a shell.
Or it's a hot potato who's ever wearing it in 1,000 years is dunzo.
I think whoever wears it last, the 1,000 years starts all over again.
Yeah.
Like almost like she should almost like hold on to it. Don't take it off. I don't want to start all over again. And imagine, all right, we got another 1,000 years. All right.
She keeps tacking on 1,000 years every time Jason takes it off and puts it back on. Yeah,
I'll tell you though, she looks good for her age.
He was so funny. Like their chemistry was great, but I love when she's like, "Are you?" I forgot what phrase she said. She was like, "Are you taken by someone?" Like some fancy old timey non-German phrase, whatever she said.
Yeah.
And he goes, "Yeah, I am with someone." And the horse, because this is Harriet. This is the horse. But he was funny, man. This guy's so good.
He is. He plays that role great. I mean, and again, you know what? She's seeing cars speeding all over the place. That alone should have freaked her out.
Yeah.
Like it's like if we went in the future and we see like flying spaceships all over the place. That would be freaky. I can't imagine waking up 1,000 years in the future with the spaceships all over the place and just acting like, wow, look at those flying cars.
This finally happened. Okay, cool.
Like nothing. Yeah, I know.
But in the future, then maybe they can walk and poop like horses. So maybe
that is true. Okay,
we have that to look forward to if we get frozen by a magical necklace from a guy named the Count. I don't know. Maybe.
Well, doesn't she go to the bathroom at this point and she puts on lipstick for the first time?
Oh, well, no, that's the club scene in a little bit. But no, how about when she says, I think that's the part when she says, I have to, where can I, I forgot what the phrase was. She says, like, where can I wet my something? And he's like, oh, the bathroom, it's over there.
But he peeps on her because he goes into the women's bathroom checking on her, which was kind of weird. And not
only does he peep, because when he looks in, she's near the sinks, which is like straight ahead, and he looks to the right, like where a girl's probably going potty. He like makes this weird look like, hey, let me see what's going on over there.
Yeah, but if you're gonna peep, is that really where you want to peep?
No.
I mean, we're talking about movies where guys are kissing mannequins, so I guess there's guys that like to peep in the bathroom.
Yeah, that's true. So then we get the scene when the Count arrives, okay, and he flies out like the Red Baron's plane. And he lands, and every friggin' employee from the department store, including Mr. Jones Pankin, is there waiting.
Doesn't Dastardly fly that plane?
He does, yeah.
He does. I bet you that's the same kind of. It's what they're focusing it on because it's him. It's got to be. That'd be great if he had his own dog. If he had a dog with him, like a bulldog, that would have been great.
I always wish they made that movie. Like somehow, like nowadays, because all the different characters every week, man, I show my daughter that show. So good. It's still like
remember
cool.
The Laugh
all
Olympics?
The different characters. No,
they had you never saw that? So I think it's called the Laugh Olympics. It's the Hanna-Barbera's, like all the characters. So like you had all the bad guys, all the cartoon bad guys. You had the Scooby Doobies, which was all the Scooby Doo characters. Then you had like the Yogi Bear, and they did Olympics. They did like go to YouTube and you could probably find some of that up. I used to watch it all the time as a kid. It was like all the it was like the Avengers of all like Hanna-Barbera cartoons.
Oh, nice.
The Flintstones. Oh yeah, it was great.
Yeah, because I love wacky races like Penelope Pitstop. You had the two cavemen. You had so many people in that show.
Oh, Captain Caveman.
Captain Caveman, yeah. So then we get Meshach, the part that I played in the intro when he's playing the bouncer with dreadlocks, which I thought was so funny. Just him ripping everybody. And Jason and Jesse walk past, and Jason goes, "Oh, this is a new hot club." Which, when you look inside, is it really like the nicest place?
Well, considering the dancing they do in the hot club, it makes no sense whatsoever. It was like a prom. It looked like a prom.
Oh, yes. But he's like, "Oh, ridiculous. I can't get. I've been trying to get in here for weeks." Because like you wait in line and then you get roasted by the bouncer if you're allowed to come in or not. I'd be pissed. I would never go back to that place. But he really likes the way Jesse looks.
Yeah, but he lets some women in and some guys that were with the women he didn't let in. Yeah. So why did he let Jesse in?
Oh, why he let Jason in with Jesse?
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe he was like, man, Jesse's the hottest thing that's going to walk in here. So at least bring her man in. And how about when he's inside, there's two girls that might have never like gave him batted an eye to him ever. And then they're like all over him just because he's with Jesse.
Well, why don't you think they would bat an eye? The woman with the sexy perfume was all over him in 2 minutes.
Well, like you said, that thing seeps into your bloodstream and it changes your chemical makeup that you're always horny from it. Maybe these girls are predisposed to sexy perfume too.
Maybe they bought it earlier that day.
Oh, maybe.
And they're wearing it. Someone's buying it. So what's it?
And it just attracts them to Jason. That's it. No one, no other man. Just
isn't that? Isn't that Love Potion number 9? No, it's the same thing.
It is. Yeah.
So, but the dancing, like first of all, the beginning dancing. So like when he asked her to dance.
Okay, wait here. So here's that because I have.
Oh, you have it. Okay, all right, good. You had it.
Okay. Hello, you.
Hello. Are you a general?
I'm a notary public. You want to dance, baby?
I already have a man.
I'm a notary public. You want to dance, baby? Oh. I don't know what he's doing, but he's believing it.
Oh, he's in it.
And nobody else is dancing like that. No one.
No one's dancing. First of all, he's not even dancing to the rhythm of the music. Like everybody seems to be moving to the music. It does not go with the music at all. It almost reminds me of what movie?
Crispin Glover?
We watched. Yes.
Yeah.
Who does that?
Final chapter. Yeah. I don't know what he's doing. The head thing. He doesn't have long hair. What's he doing?
That's not dancing. That's not dancing. This is
And then I
dancing.
didn't have the whole part of it, but the fact that she starts dancing like this fancy thing, like princess wave, and within seconds, a girl is
Everybody-
mimicking her.
And again, this is the hottest club in town.
Yeah.
If that's what, listen, maybe I've never been to the hottest club in town, but if that's what goes on in the hottest club in town, I don't want to go.
Yeah. I don't want to go either.
It's not, and if you told me, you know, like, listen, this club is the hottest, like you can't, I would never think that would go on in the hottest club in town. So, you know.
But I love how like 2 people follow her, 3 people follow her, then the whole place, and then the music changes. Does the DJ stop that song he was playing and goes, "Oh, she's dancing old classical 1,000 years ago."
You think, yeah, you know what? The music literally changes the second she starts dancing. The second. First of all, I don't think the DJ would even have that music with him in his.
I hope not.
He would not have that at all. But the fact that the DJ staring at her also, he's like, you know what? There she goes. We got to, you know, we got to key this up right now. Like,
yeah.
It doesn't, it's so stupid. But I think like in all those 80s and 90s movies, especially like at the proms and everything, every time like someone started some kind of dance, they all join in to the same, like, it's like,
the
something they all play.
Do the Urkel.
Yeah.
Do the
or what? Can't Buy Me Love. Was it Can't Buy Me Love? No. Or Encino Man. It was one of those where they started doing I think it was Can't Buy Me Love. He started doing some dance that he learned on TV. And they all started doing the same dance at the prom.
Yeah.
Like it was like, it happened so many times. So I think they would, because this movie, even it was what, the
91?
Okay. But it had such an 80s vibe because you had about two or three montages. You know, you had like, it was a typical 80s movie.
Perfect. Which I wish they were all like that. I wish movies just followed that model of just, the montages are great. So then we talked about this a little bit earlier, so we don't have to talk about it too much, but Pankin is at Jason's house and he's there for the video dating service, which has like mountains in the background in the video. And he like can't even get through. For a guy that's a vicious boss in this movie, he can't answer simple questions about what he does because he doesn't want people to know, because he lies about what his job is. He doesn't say he runs a department store. Forgot what he says, but it's totally like far-fetched and not what he does.
Oh, of course. And so like that was the house, right? That was the mom's house?
That was Jason's house, yeah.
Okay. All right. Because I thought like later on when he goes there, he doesn't remember it being that house.
He does.
Like
and then.
Well, it was like I say I was confused. I thought it was the house, but there was something that happened later in the movie where he was almost like shocked that Jason was there or something. Like, I don't know.
Well, no, there he was shocked Jason was there because it's the new employee. Because that's when he saw Jason and he like turned his head so Jason can go upstairs without seeing him. And then he took the tape out. I love that when he's like, "You never saw me," and he's taking it out and he's smashing it.
Yeah, but wasn't he surprised when he saw Jason's mom later on? At the house?
No, I don't.
There was something.
I guess he was sort of surprised, but he was more like, "Oh shit, I gotta pretend that I've never met this lady."
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
I was a little confused. I was like, I wasn't sure, but yeah, that was pretty funny that when he saw him, he's trying to sneak out and he's pulling.
When he's pulling the tape and looking at her eye contact, he's like, "You never saw me," and even though he pulled the tape out, he's smashing the tape on the doorway.
No, he was awesome. He did such a great job.
God, and then I got another clip of the weirdest scene ever the next morning after like she sleeps over and dude, this whole like the breakfast.
This after she's yeah. Okay.
She's never used a bubble bath. I'm sure
I wrote that down. I wrote that down.
And
we talked about this. And we talked about this. The fact that dancing, I forget what movie it was, but dancing while you're cooking. No one does that. And you see it in movies all the time.
What that thing is. Yeah. And what's he doing? Like, you know what's funny? On this video on YouTube, because I said the same thing, like, who the hell would like put sausages in a microwave because it's not safe, or in a toaster? And people were, "Oh yeah, I do that." Like on the video, and I'm like, I couldn't imagine that. Wouldn't the grease get on the bottom of your thing and start a fire or something?
Well, you know what's funny? He's acting as if he lost his virginity. That's how he's acting. He had like the night of his
scene
life.
Ever. This is up there with the samurai grilled cheese sandwich in Mirror Mirror 3.
First of all, how disgusting is that? You use that to dust up crap, and then you're gonna. But that's how he's acting. And meanwhile, nothing happened with him.
No, he slept on the couch.
Yeah. So why is he acting like he lost his virginity?
And no, wait. How do we find out? Because his mom point blank said, "Did you sleep with her?" He goes, "Mom, don't ask me." And she goes, "Did you sleep with her?"
Well, I mean, he's still living in the house. Mom's still doing everything. I mean, she first of all, she probably thinks like, was something wrong with my son. So the fact that he brings home she didn't even see the mannequin yet or whatever. Jesse
No,
yet, right?
She thought there was somebody
up there.
She knew somebody was there. Yeah. She said, "Who's in the bathroom?"
That. You're right. Okay. All right. Which she also knows how to tie her hair up in a towel. And I think she blow dries it and does all this.
That is true.
Okay.
She knows how to use the towel to do I don't think they were doing that then.
Do you think if you get a scar in your face that if you turn into a mannequin has a scar?
I would hope so.
Okay.
I would want my mannequin to have all my imperfections and perfections.
Does the mannequin have a long moley hair later on?
Oh, I don't know. Does it? All I know is it's like put together with Scotch tape.
All right. Yeah. So I thought this scene was pretty funny too.
Yeah.
I mean,
oh my God.
You knew this was going to happen. Like you knew, something like this, but the fact that he tries to, I think, give CPR or
he tries to give CPR,
but it's clearly a mannequin at this point.
Yeah.
So, I mean, okay.
If you really think about it now and you piece together like that, that's why I love when we talk about these movies. When you piece together that she goes, "Oh, who's in the bathroom?" So when she walks in her head, she's thinking there's a girl upstairs in the bathroom. There's a bubble bath, running water, and the son's making this breakfast. And then she walks in on him with a mannequin. So in her head, does she think "Oh, my creepy son went down to cook breakfast, threw his mannequin in a bubble bath"?
I think she is. But you know what? I just thought of this. Where did the necklace come from? Where was it all this time?
Oh, I guess he was holding on to it. I guess that's the only thing that could happen.
Because, I mean, obviously she took it off. She clearly is not wearing it the whole half hour. And it just happened to be sitting there?
Yeah, and wouldn't he be smart enough, as soon as he sees her with it on, it's like, "Oh, that's what's different. When I took it off different when you came along." Yeah.
Exactly. That's what I was thinking, the same thing. So, yeah, he's not a bright guy either. But, yeah, I was just thinking, where the heck did that necklace come from? Because they did not have it at all the whole time.
No.
So
and then they should have figured it out by now. He should have figured it out right away. "Oh, I took this off. She woke up. It's back on." Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
Oh my gosh. So then and then what does he do? Not "Hey, let's get her back to the work real quick." He takes her to a diner and people are staring.
You see, that was a little weird too. That he was
losing it. He was really losing it because.
Did he order her food?
Oh, I don't know if did she have food? I don't know.
I think she had food. I think she had food in front of her. Because I think the waitress says something like, "Are you both going to finish that?" or something
Yeah, no, she did say that. I didn't know if there was food. But just think, when she, just before he gives her CPR in the scene before, he even says "Oh my God, did last night even happen? Did we go to the club? What happened?" He's almost going crazy.
He is, but no one notices him walking around with a mannequin. It's the size of him. I mean, he's driving around with it. He's walking inside a diner with it. No one notices anything. No one says anything to him.
Table for two. They're like, "Buddy."
Well, it reminds me of what was it? Larry David who had a mannequin in the carpool lane or something,
no, he picked up a prostitute in the carpool lane.
Okay. There was something. Maybe it was Seinfeld.
Well, I'll tell you exactly what you're talking about. It's from the Jetsons movie. Well, Kramer had the Elaine's dummy in her car.
Yes,
and used it to make the girl that was the receptionist to make her jealous. Okay. But in the Jetsons movie, the one that came out in the 90s, he had a blow up passenger in order to get past.
Wait,
yeah.
He had a blow up doll.
He had like a blow up. He had a blow up that was like it looked like a cop, and he did like a cop voice. And he turned his car into a cop car.
Okay. So in the future, they do have blow up stuff.
They do. Yeah.
Okay.
Something to look forward to. If you get frozen, there's a necklace that gets put around you. So then the count is he wants to see the peasant girl, and he like gives Hollywood the business, and Hollywood gives her right back. He doesn't take anything from this count. He says, "Come this way, your ass holiness."
And does he say something like, "We must found her"? With his accent, I think I was like the little lines that he says, the way he speaks is so funny. Like he kind of reminded me of Hank Azaria. Like I can see Hank Azaria playing that role the same way. Like, the same kind of guy. But I was thinking this also. So this mannequin situation's happened, I don't know what the time frame is with Hollywood. Wouldn't more people know about it?
Oh, I don't know.
The first time
people talk about it?
Wait, would people talk about the fact that a mannequin came to life? Because obviously there were more than one person that found that in the first movie, I'm assuming, right? Like,
the security guard actually saw it. Like Carol Davis didn't really see it. She just saw it as a mannequin, but the security guard in this movie saw it. Yeah.
Right. So you would think that more people would be like,
only two people saw it. The security guard. Did Andrew McCarthy like marry her at the end? Like in this afterworld, maybe. What are their kids?
And it's the same town,
same department store. Yeah,
yeah. So you don't it would be funny if you had like a little cameo, like one of them had a cameo in there.
Yeah.
Or so like if they had her mannequin in the movie.
Oh yeah, something like that.
That would have been cool.
So here's the line. Another line going through my notes is when the Count meets Jason, when Jason finally shows up with Jesse as the mannequin, he says, "Have we met before?" That's it. That's the giveaway. He's the same guy. Because how could he say, "Have we met before," if he's the great grandson? Because
listen, Jesse also thinks that the other guy is her prince. So they clearly all look the same. So that's why. So, I mean, I don't know. Maybe the Count saw pictures. Did they have pictures back then?
No. They're painting. Stay still. Let me get this.
But yeah, I mean, it's again, the fact that they all look alike, so it's just so weird. And yeah. And the Count, like, why is it the Count's love? Like, why is it this, like, if he's the great grandson, like, was it supposed to be her, was she supposed to be his from the beginning?
Like, that's what it seems like. Why is he waiting?
Why wasn't the other great grandson? Like that's what I mean. Like, where was this? Like what? And how does he know? Like, oh, my time has come. This is my gift from my great grandfather. It doesn't make sense.
I guess because it's 1,000 years, but I think it's the same guy. There's no way that it's one of the great grandsons, because the fact that it says, "Have we met before?"
You know what? Did the sorcerer have a hairy mole?
Well, I don't know.
Well, that would be the clue.
That's
because
it.
If he has a hairy mole, because I'm going to say the odds of two people having a whiskered mole that length are going to be odd. So if he doesn't have it, then they're not different people. So we'd have to go back and check.
Maybe that's like the side effect of turning yourself into a mannequin. 10% chance of getting a hairy mole.
Okay.
Maybe Jesse has one, but we just don't see it.
Oof.
Right in our left ass.
That mole is, the mole is okay. It's that hair. It really is. It is cringy to look at.
Yeah.
It really is. It's uncomfortable to look at the way they do that.
So then Hollywood takes the necklace off of Jesse and tries it on. And then he turns into a mannequin. And Jesse's like, instead of being like, "Oh, thank you. Let me take it off you because then I know you're fine." She's like, "Bye." And she leaves. She like
Well,
tiptoes out.
That was her freebie. She was like, that's a get out of jail card. She's like, all right, as long as he's wearing it, so yeah, I don't blame her. But how does she know where to go?
Oh, she has nowhere to.
Okay. No. Okay. This whole sequence, there's a huge problem. Okay, so this is where she gets her haircut or hairstyle.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Her hair is down to her like her kneecaps. How the heck does she have short hair from the stylist? And then later in the movie, when her hair is back to normal, down to her kneecaps again. There's no way. I thought she got a haircut. Like when she's walking around, I'm like, all right, no, it was back. Like it was almost like when you wet it, it shrinks and it goes back down. So that was one. How'd she pay for everything? Because I know they said the employee ID.
His charge his employee account.
So what is that, like the Mickey Mouse thing when you go to Disney World? You could charge everything to your room key. Like that's an employee.
Yeah, or it's like to your if somebody works in a restaurant, you could charge it to your paycheck. So basically, what they're saying is, if you find someone's ID that clearly looks nothing like you, you could just charge anything you want to it. Well, when you're as pretty as Kristy Swanson, because how about the guy? How he tells her about it? The shady.
That guy was the creepiest. That guy was the creepiest guy ever. Yes, he was creepy. But how about the fact that when she's buying the clothes, she goes and she sees the other guy running around. She's like, "Hold on, I'll be right back," and the woman didn't say anything. She was like, "Okay," yeah. And she just ran out of the store. Like she didn't chase her. She didn't tell her to stop. So yeah,
that was when the Stooges were looking for her.
Yes.
Yeah.
But again, like she did a lot with a photo ID that wasn't hers.
And what we skipped over the first time was when she saw the perfume girl, and she said for Jason, and the girl had the balls to ask, "How was it?" After she said, "I slept over his house last night."
Well, there was obviously a little jealousy. You could see it. But
weird.
Yes,
they knew each other for 5 minutes, and she's jealous.
Listen, sexy perfume does a lot to you.
It does a lot.
Makes you ballsy. It makes you ballsy.
Changes everything. It gives you balls.
It really does.
But the employee account, man, Jesus.
Yeah, that really makes no sense. I don't think you could do that in any company today. That if you have an ID that's linked to an account, that you can buy anything you want.
Yeah,
I don't think so. So yeah, that was dumb. And again, let alone not even have your face on it and just use it anywhere. Good looking or not, that's not going to happen.
No, we draw the line. I don't care if you're Kristy Swanson or not. So then, so how about when Hollywood wakes up and Jason's trying to explain everything, and he goes, "I believe you. I've seen this happen before." And in my head, I'm like, if you were Jason, wouldn't you be like, "Wait, what? Tell me about what happened before. You've seen this happen before?"
And yeah, he doesn't even question it. Or wouldn't he say "Why don't you tell me this before?"
Yeah.
Because obviously, first of all, the mannequin did not look it almost looked like Kim Cattrall one. It was a very Hollywood should have almost So I mean, he should have realized what was going on this whole time, because the same antics was pretty much going on as the first one. It was in this one.
He should have put 2 and 2 together. In your lifetime, if you deal with one mannequin coming to life, 2 is coming.
All right. The minute he said she was alive in the water, he thought she was alive in the water, is when Hollywood should have said, "You know what? I've seen this before." So why did he stay quiet then and make the poor guy think he's going crazy?
Yeah, that is true.
He could have saved a lot of trouble this whole movie.
Yeah. So another line that just makes me think that it's the same count. He says a line after the Stooges start chasing Jason, which is at the same time that Jesse's doing the clothes changing montage, which is an 80s classic staple. And then that's when she runs out. He goes, "I know I knew him. It's Prince William." He says that line.
Right. I know. But again, yeah, right. But then why would Prince William still be around? if that's like in his mind, like he knows it's 1,000 years. So why, like, how the heck can Prince William be there?
Maybe he thought that he froze himself. Yeah. So all of it makes no sense.
It's
none
so
of
stupid.
it.
It really doesn't.
But what does he do in the middle of a mall? He starts firing a crossbow at Hollywood and Jason.
And then throwing flowered pots at them.
You know what's funny? In my head, I go, oh, this is so funny. Nobody else is noticing these arrows getting shot. Because they shoot both of them and then they jump out of the way.
Yep.
And then when they start smashing the pots, in my head, I'm like, dude, if nobody else moves, I'm going to be pissed. But other people started jumping out of the way as soon as he was smashing them. But I'm like, how does nobody hear this arrow like hit in this huge open? I'm sure there's an echo in the mall.
He's such a cartoon character.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
you know, in this movie, it's so funny. And again, so that scene alone showed how big the mall is. It's not a department store. It's a mall.
Yeah.
So Pankin is the manager of the mall.
Yeah.
like, is there a mall manager? Like,
I guess there has to be like a GM of like a mall that is in charge of everybody. I guess I don't know.
That's a lot. That's a lot of people to be in charge.
That's
of.
a lot of work.
It's
Yeah, dude. That's a lot of work.
So
he has to work with.
I would think there would be like sections. Like, all right, there's a manager for like the, you know, the department stores, and a manager for the food court, and there's a manager like, you know, I can't imagine one manager for the entire mall. Ugh.
Maybe that's why he had those two cronies. Maybe they were like going to take over the different departments or something. But how about another New Jersey burn in this movie? Because when she goes, what kind of fabric is this made of? And the girl goes, polyester. She goes, oh, what plant is that from? And the sales girl says, the one from New Jersey.
Why is that a burn? Why is that a burn?
Polyester's plastic. Nobody likes Nobody says, I'll take the polyester.
We just lost every single fan that enjoys wearing polyester.
Yeah. All I think of polyester is like the 1970s disco, like bright, shiny outfits. That's polyester.
All right.
So why is there an operating go-kart in the mall with a guy with a finish line flag standing next to it?
And one, she knows how to operate. Again, so she knows how to use that. Except for she can't brake, but she can do everything else.
She can
that
skid
go-kart.
perfect. Yeah.
Oh, she can totally skid. It goes so slow. How does no one be able to catch up to her? It literally goes so slow. The only time it goes fast is when it goes out of the building and it's on the highway, on the streets. But inside the mall, you can see like people are like dodging out of the way, like. They like it's like a huge car coming at them. Like they easily could have dove on him and knocked him off the go-kart.
Yeah,
like it was just so dumb. It was so.
And
why is it there? What was the point? Why was it there?
Exactly. And then why is that there? And then why is the Count in full knight armor? And
that fits him perfectly. That fits him perfectly.
Did he bring that all the way from his country?
Well. Where did his henchmen get their clothes? So maybe he has like, you know, magic that could bring whatever. But because where have you ever seen a knight's outfit at any mall ever? Like, what store would have? What would be the purpose of having a knight's outfit or knights in the mall? Nothing.
Maybe the store Night and Day.
Oy.
And not only was he in the shining armor, he also had a mace, like the old medieval mace.
Well,
and he goes to swing it. And
wait, what knight outfit would not have a mace?
Well,
you're gonna tell me you're gonna have. Oh, so that would be okay then? Like you act surprised, like he has a mace, but a sword. Yeah, that's not surprising. But the mace, that's crazy. I think most knights have a mace.
Yeah.
Well, I think so. It would have been funny if he had a can of mace instead.
Yeah, that'd been funny. And he's yelling at his stooges, I told you to get me a mace. Sorry, boss.
Boss, this is a mace.
There's like Three Stooges kind of part. But no, the go-kart just runs him over. He doesn't even like do anything. And then, like you said, they go into the streets. It gets away. And she's so smart. She's like a dog. She remembers how to get back to Jason's house. She's been there once in the middle of the night.
Once. And that go-kart was supercharged to make it as far to his house. Because he had to drive there. So what are the odds of his house being that close to the mall? I don't, because it seemed like the mall is kind of like in a city, and his house is totally like in burbs. So I can't imagine it. So at least 40 minutes, a half hour, 40 minutes.
Yeah, and he had a nice drive in the beginning of the movie because he ate his breakfast sandwich that his mom gave him.
Right. So I don't think his car, the go-kart's making it that far.
Yeah. Oh my God. And then from there, what happens? Jason goes to the house. I love that there was a parking cop, a meter maid that put a ticket on the go-kart. But then the cops are there, and they get there in like a few minutes later. I think they're already outside, right? He runs upstairs to find her, and isn't she watching?
She's watching something, but she has all
she's watching the videotapes from the mom.
Okay.
The dating tapes.
Right, correct. So she's watching the videotapes, but not to mention that she just ordered that furniture, 10 minutes ago?
Oh my God, yes, it's there.
It's delivered. Not only is it delivered, it's set up. So they delivered it and set it up within, had to be 10 minutes. I mean, that was so ridiculous. So the fact that
this doesn't make up for the craziness of that, but do you remember the sleazy salesman? He's like, I do have a spot. We could deliver this morning.
Yes, he did say that.
I know.
It's just so stupid. It's like, it's, again, we're talking about distance to the house and all that. By the time they pack it, they find it. It was delivered and set up in 10 minutes.
Wouldn't he be angry? Like, dude, I just started this job. I'm in the hole. I've been working a day.
He did make a face when she said, like, oh yeah, I put it on your car. Like he did make some kind of face. But again, you said she's good looking, so you kind of like dismiss it.
Yeah. You gotta just I'm in the hole. How much is this furniture? Oh, $3,000 by 1991 standard as an entry level. I'll have to work 2 months for free.
Well, I think he's also at this point he's thinking like, you know what, he doesn't have a job anymore. Like the odds of him continuing that job, so he's probably like, you know what, I don't even care. I'm not even an employee anymore.
That is true.
So
then he goes downstairs because he hears the cops. Jesse stays in the room. The Count gets upstairs, and she, again, to add to what we've talked about the whole time, she goes, sorcerer, and he doesn't say no. He just goes along with it because that's who he is.
It is 100%. That's who he is. And I was a little like, I thought she would have put up a little fight about putting the necklace on. He literally walks so slow towards her. Why didn't she just run out of the room?
Exactly. She knows what happens.
100% she knows what happens. And he just walks slowly and puts it on her and then carries her downstairs. So stupid.
Oh my God. Yeah. Just walks her down like it's nothing. And then the Count. So the Count's plan after this is to leave his wife, the Queen. He's going to leave after the show. They're going to go to Bermuda.
Wait a second. So the Queen is his wife?
I think so. Right.
Why would the Queen be okay with all this?
I don't think she was. Remember, she was yelling at him when he called the one time. So I don't think he's okay with it, but that's why it's a secret plan. He goes, okay, guys, as soon as the show's over, like, why does it have to be a secret? Like, the mall, the department store could give two shits what you do with this thing afterwards. They're going to go on to the next musical that they're going to do, maybe Susical. And then from there, that you could just do what you want. But he's like, okay, after this, we're going to Bermuda. It's like, okay, who cares?
But so his secret, he wants to have a big production where hundreds of people look at this mannequin.
Maybe it's not really a secret. Maybe that's what he's into. Because I want all these people to come around from everywhere, watch her, and then I'm gonna take her to Bermuda. It's like, okay.
What if his plan was not even to make her human, to keep her as a mannequin because he's in love with the mannequin?
Maybe.
Because he's creepy enough that I could see that working.
Oh, he would love that. He would fit that demo that we were talking about earlier. Like, he's the one that is into it. He's the one who warns a new employee, like, hey, I know it's going to be tempting. Don't make out with it.
It'd be great if he had like a fake mole with a hair on it and he puts it on her too. Just like, you know.
Yeah. It super glues it right on. So then, so we get Hollywood. Jason goes to jail. Hollywood, great scene.
This is classic. I love this scene.
It's 80s, like pretending to be somebody, and he breaks. Like you think at first, I thought it was like earlier in the movie when we saw him as the bouncer, but it wasn't Hollywood. It was the bouncer.
Yep.
I thought it was the same kind of thing, but no, it was him because he was so serious, so stern, and then he like broke.
When he was nervous running away, like I was dying. No, he's so funny. I mean, he's such a good actor. Like he really like, again, to me, like he was one of the ones that stole the scenes in the first movie, and he was great. This was a very funny scene.
Yeah, and who's the getaway driver? Jason's mom.
You know what would be funny if he was, he was dressed up as like a general, but he had like high heels on. So and they didn't notice until he left, until he walked away, and then they looked down, they saw the heels on him.
I think
that would have been good.
God, and then we cut to back to this the play's getting ready to start. So Jason has to sneak in. He sneaks in wearing a huge afro. They don't check him.
You know what? This whole part seems weird to me because they come up with this elaborate plan. Are we at the show now?
Yeah, this is the show. Yeah.
Okay. So they're near the mannequin, right? They have the mannequin in sight. Like why don't they just take the necklace off? Like, why go through that whole production to take it off later on? Why didn't they just take it off and leave? The Count was waiting in the audience.
No, to add, why is the Count still there? If his plan is to go to Bermuda, I don't understand.
Well, because
why this show has to happen.
Well, Pankin kept pressuring him because Pankin spent all this.
He did. Yeah, he did. Yeah, that's true. He
right.
said,
So
you're not going to pull out. Yeah.
Right. But I mean, the fact that they're literally next to the mannequin now, they have this, but they do this whole plan when they easily could have taken the necklace off and then just left right there, knowing the Count was in the audience. How stupid was that?
Very, very stupid.
Yeah. Okay.
And I love that the ballet like starts and then it turns into like a Salt and Pepper video. Like that's exactly the vibe it gave off.
And the Count, his face when he saw this going on, because now he's getting mad because they're mocking his village, his country.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
He doesn't like that. And then Hollywood's rapping the plot of the movie. The whole movie.
Yeah. Like
a peasant girl.
How is that their plan though? Like I don't understand what. So their plan was to put it out there in front of everybody to see that she's turns into a real person.
I don't know.
Like I don't like. It seemed like a big. I think Hollywood was thinking of himself, and he's like, "Listen, I put together this huge production. How awesome if I can show presentation, and." The fact that I'm going to do this like big climax of the show where she's going to turn into a woman and everybody's going to love the show. Like he wasn't thinking about getting her to get away. It was more about the show.
He was all about me. That makes sense. His name's Hollywood and he's in Philadelphia. So he has to.
So he really wasn't helping him the whole time. He was thinking about the show and thinking about himself.
Yeah. And the fact that what was the original song they had planned that everybody like knew the dance for, that he turned it into a freestyle rap about everything that was happening around them.
And think about that. He came up with that rap last minute.
Yeah.
Because up until the point he got there, before they had the plan, they had one thing going on, and he was able to do that right away. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
He was good. And
I think
he's wasting involved.
He's wasting his talent in a mall.
Yeah. I love that throughout the whole movie, his sunglasses are so great because they have different size eye frames.
Yep.
Each eye.
Well, he had scissors. He had scissors in the beginning.
One. Yeah.
Well, in the first movie, his one in the first movie was great. The two different colors, like the triangles.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So no.
He was great. Designing Women, he was awesome on. He passed away a few years ago.
He was only like 60 something, I think, when he died.
I
thought. But yeah, he crushed it in designing. Like to me, he was designing women. Like that. Like,
oh yeah,
it was awesome. And what's funny? He was married. Like I thought, like he plays that role well, but it's like the guy in Modern Family. Like sometimes like you would never know if you didn't know the whole story.
Yeah. No, he's so good at it.
Yeah.
So then Jason is the prince, and then he's able to free the curse forever because
okay.
Yeah.
See, now the Count being the Count, he has to be the prince because he knows how to sword fight and do flips. Okay. Now, okay, I think he said something that I used to fence. Fine. I can buy that. You know, he wasn't really good. The Count really kicked his butt in that. But the fact that he's doing flips and stuff, that would be like a princey kind of thing to do back in it. Like, you know, so how is he doing that?
Exactly. So it's like both of these guys have some connection from 1,000 years ago. So maybe obviously Jason isn't from 1,000 years ago, but I would think.
Why isn't it obvious? He looks exactly like the prince and does moves like the prince. So, like, it's such a loophole in this story between both of them. It doesn't make like I'm surprised. Like they never like they're probably like, listen, this movie's so all over the place. No one's gonna care. Again, it's a movie about a mannequin turning into a woman. They're really gonna care, that if we're using the same people from 1,000 years ago.
We care, damn it. The good, the bad, and the sequel at Twitter's only. Sequels only on Twitter.
Okay, so think about it this way. Now, you've seen this movie before. Probably never thought twice about it.
No, there are a lot of these movies you really don't think about it until you watch it to break it down. Yeah.
Right. So you know what? I guess their way was right. Like they're like, no, who's going to notice? Who's going to pay attention? Little did they know, 1,000 years later, we're going to have a podcast.
1,000, yeah. So then we have, when Pankin stands up, Mr. James, and he's pissed off. And how about when the Count pulls a gun out and shoots him?
I thought he actually missed him and he just like passed out, like kind of like he was like, but he gets shot. Like he got shot in the leg, right? It's ridiculous. And no one seems to be like stopping any of this.
No, everybody's just sitting there in their seats. Maybe they think it's part of the show. Maybe they think it's part of the presentation.
That's the only thing I was thinking because there's no security guards. It's a mall. There's no security guards at all anywhere. Like, doesn't seem like a safe mall.
No,
they're having sword fighting and gunshots, and no one's doing anything.
Yeah, Pankin would be fired. Even when he recovers from this, he should get canned. How do you let this happen under his watch? Where's Andy Ackerman, the security guard, the ginger security guard? He should be there, right? Oh no, well he was there.
No, he's with the perfume lady now, isn't he?
Yes, yeah, he is already. Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, he moved on.
Yeah. Oh well, no, and then Andy uses the perfume.
Oh no, the hairspray,
The
hairspray. Yeah, that's true. Okay.
And then that's when the perfume girl falls in love with him.
That's all it took. Just spraying hairspray on a guy, and she fell in love with him.
Yeah, because earlier when he asked Hollywood for advice, he said Hollywood's advice is jewelry, big jewelry. That's what you should get her.
Yeah, but he doesn't. But she was around perfume, the sexy perfume, all day.
Yep.
2 days in a row. So she, I think anybody that walked by, was going to be the lucky person.
Whoever walks by next, I'm jumping on them. I don't care.
Especially after hearing the night that Jesse had, the night before. I think she's like, you know what? I can't wait anymore.
I got to get it on. Whoever it is, I don't care if it's Andy Ackerman, the security guard. I got to do it. How about the German stooge? He gets the Count. Instead of getting him a helicopter, he gets him a hot air balloon.
Well, what did he say? Did he say something? He goes, what did he say? He said something like, I wanted you to go in style. He said something, the reason why he got the hot air balloon. And I forget.
I think it was something like that. Yeah.
I wanted you to go in style. Oh, no. Or I want to go on a romantic trip or something like that with the mannequin.
Oh, yeah. Because this is like their first time together.
Yeah. So that's why he did it. So, yeah. And the fact that he's able to hold on to that rope.
Oh, no, the fact that he's doing that, but the fact that he's risking his life over, that was far down.
He fell in love. People do crazy things for love.
Yeah, and he almost fell to his death. Like, how did he hold that?
It was, listen, I've done rope climbs before. You know, the thinner the rope, the way harder it is. That was a pretty thin rope. And he was not only holding on to it, but he was climbing like it was no problem. Because even when he gets to the top of it, it's almost like he's standing on a ledge when he starts attacking the count.
And he knocks him out? When he gets in there and knocks him out, like the count doesn't even... You think the count doesn't even still have his gun? Did he lose his gun? Should have shot him, right?
No, he ran out of bullets, didn't he? When he was... He ran out of bullets on stage. On stage, he ran out of bullets. That's why they were doing a sword fight. That's why they were doing a sword fight.
Oh, that's why the sword fight happened. Yeah.
Yep.
God. And then what do? He punches him, and she puts the necklace on him, and then he flips over, and he smashes into the ground. Terry Kiser breaks into 1,000,000 pieces.
Well, no, he smashes, and then the garbage truck picks him up or sweeps him away. Was it the women? That would be great.
They should have had them back.
That, you know what? That would have been funny if it was them.
She's chewing her gum like, yeah.
But see, again, this whole 1,000-year thing makes absolutely no sense because clearly 1,000 years means nothing. Because anybody could take it off, put it on, wear it, turn into a mannequin. Like that curse meant nothing. No, like it should have been, it can't come off until 1,000 years. You know, and the person has to fall in love with the mannequin, like the beast, you know, and then because, you know, listen, again, we talked about freaky people, mannequins. So the person falls in love with the mannequin, and then all of a sudden the necklace falls off, the shell comes out, and here comes the princess. That's
but think about it like this: if you're the princess who's waiting 1,000 years or whatever, how long, the person that you find is a person that wants to have sex to the mannequin. Like, that's what you wake up to. It's not like some guy that finds you in the woods and says, oh, I want to bring you to life because this is what happens. This guy's trying to make out with an inanimate object. That's not a person.
She's been in a coma for 1,000 years. You think she's going to be picky? I mean, if it wasn't for this person because again, I'm assuming there's not that many freaky people out there about mannequins. So it's probably a small few. So she's lucky that she happened to come across one of the freaky ones.
Yeah. She's like, thank you so much for having for being so lonely.
So these dumb cronies of the count put him back together with Scotch tape, bring him back to his castle to put in a museum. Don't they know about the necklace?
Take it off.
And if they took it off, is his face going to be all mangled?
That would be funny. So if there was another one, or if they had a scene at the end, that would have been pretty funny. If he took it off, he was all mangled, and then he falls off a cliff or something like that.
Oh yeah, that's hysterical. Wow, you know what? That sounds like a great happy ending. He's all mangled from falling off a building, but he comes back to life. And instead of maybe turning over and becoming a good person, he falls off a cliff and dies. That's a great ending.
Roll credits. Hit Q Starship.
Amazing.
Oh my God. And then we get in the hot air balloon, it's just Jason and Jesse left. They make out to Starship. And then you mentioned the end of the movie. The very end is they got married. They got married in a courthouse. So they got married within knowing each other 3 days. On the third day, they got married.
Is it easy to get a hot air balloon like that?
Well, the Stooges might know someone. I don't know.
Okay.
But man, for that to happen, man.
No, and again, the tour lady knows the whole history about the Count because she's giving a tour guide about the Count and giving story on that. Where's she getting that story from?
On day three.
Where's she getting that story from?
Did the Stooges fill her in, or was there that many newspaper articles or people spoke about it, and then they're like, okay, I know everything now.
In 3 days, newspaper article in 3 days.
Man, so that was Mannequin 2 on the move. Man, that was fun to talk about. Jamie, would you recommend for somebody to watch this one?
Yeah, you have to. I think you have to watch the first one too. I mean, there's definitely some similarities, story wise. The first one is definitely way better, but you know what? This is a good movie. I mean, it's a movie where it's gonna, like you said, nostalgia. It's gonna bring you back. It's silly. Kiser crushes it. Pankin crushes it. And I think it's a fun movie. I think it's definitely worth a watch. Maybe they didn't have to do as many montages that kind of like filled. It was a little filler. But no, it was. I definitely recommend it.
Yeah, I have to agree with all of that. And then it's funny when you just mentioned like Pankin and you got like Hollywood back and Terry Kiser, Ragsdale, Swanson. There's even like Andy Ackerman, Perfume Lady, the mom. There's not one person in this movie I'm like, you know what? They could have done a better job casting. Like the cast is all great.
That's what I feel like comedies today are missing. Like I feel like when you go back to the 80s and early 90s, they had movies like comedies like this that had multiple characters that would constantly pop up, that were part of the story, that they would somehow end up in the beginning to the middle. And like, that's what makes the movie great. Even the side characters. And I think that's what like comedies today don't have. Like they focus so much on the main, like couple people and that's it, so yeah.
Yeah. There aren't those like new age, like character actors that are like in comedies that, yeah, no, you're right. That's why the movies that do nail that are the ones that are good, like Hangover, like the original movie. Each side character, little story you saw, they're all great people, like Brian Callen from Mad TV, the comedian, running the wedding business. Like that's funny. If that was like some random guy reading lines, it would have sucked.
Right. 100%.
Yeah, you got to see Mannequin too. Dude, Kiser. What he does in this movie. And it's so funny that there's so many times throughout it, and again, I believe it, but that they mention that it's that guy.
Know.
Like it has to be. There's no way.
And you know what? Again, I think that's what's great about 80s and early 90s movies, that there's so many plot holes that don't make sense, but they don't have to. Like they don't have to make sense because the movie is just gonna be entertaining, And what's great is, again, we mentioned it earlier. It ended with Starship's song. And it's that's such an 80s song. It was such a big montage in the first movie, and it just brought it full circle. It was pretty cool to hear it at the end. But I wish it had its own song. I wish it had its own 80s song.
No, I agree. But great video if you ever watched it.
Oh,
anybody listening? Because it's from the movie, and Hollywood's in the end of the movie because the singer of Starship, he turns into a mannequin at the very end.
Yeah.
It's pretty great.
Yeah.
But man, so then we go from Mannequin 2 to Escape from LA, because the way we did it, because Stuart Pankin and Peter Jason, they have a new movie coming out by Saban Films called Deep in the Forest. It's a video on demand May 31st. So we're doing back-to-back reviews, which is going to be fun because Escape from LA brings back our action sequel expert. Is this an action movie? I don't care, but Andrew needs to come back. And Andrew Powers is back for, I think, his 6th or 7th time. So that'll be a lot of fun. Kurt Russell. I know Stacy Keach is in this movie. I think he plays the president. Robert Carradine's in this movie. And a ton more. Of course, Peter Jason's in the movie. Jamie, do you remember this movie at all?
I remember one scene, and he's surfing.
Him surfing.
That's the only scene I remember. I don't
surfing into a prison.
Yeah. So I mean, it should be a wild movie. I'm assuming. I might not even seen the whole movie. I might have just seen that clip. I don't remember it at all. But I'm sure it's a crazy movie.
I'm excited because Carpenter did do that movie. No matter what it's going to be, it's going to have a lot of his actors that he.
Oh, you haven't seen it?
I haven't seen it since I saw it probably in the 90s on like the illegal black box. I've definitely seen it because I remember everybody in it.
I don't think I saw the first one. Like I know the first one's a classic. Oh. I don't know if I ever saw that one. I would have to. I think I would watch that one before this one.
You got it.
You have to.
Joe Alves, production designer from and art director from Jaws. He worked on Escape from New York. So no. It'll be fun. So don't forget to review, rate, share our podcast. Follow us on all social media at Sequels Only. And don't forget to check out our website, sequelsonly.com. Good night.
Good night.
Good night, guys.